So in my previous video, I talked about how to take this Confidence Power Plus treadmill and turn it into a treadmill desk. Today I'm going to take this the handlebars off. I'm going to do some modifications that actually are pretty easy to get this thing to be a lot easier for a do-it-yourself treadmill desk. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off these handlebars and I'm going to separate this the panel up here. And that's going to solve three problems. Today I'm going to try to tackle three problems. One is, notice this treadmill is at a kind of a tall angle. It can't be controlled. However, you'll notice when I set it down like this, the angle is practically flat. It's very close to flat. So we're going to solve that problem by removing these handlebars. Second problem is, by removing these handlebars, this will be a lot easier to slip underneath your desk. You're going to save a lot of space. The third problem is the beeping sound. I'm going to show you how to remove the speaker off of this panel, how to open it up, because that beeping is very loud. So we're going to go through all those today. Okay, so here is the back of the control panel. I'm just going to take out these screws real quick. I'm sure you know how to take out screws, so I'll just fast forward. So here I've removed all the screws, so you just simply take this out, and then this comes off pretty easily. So now what we're going to do next is we're going to unscrew these and unscrew these so we can take a look at the circuit board. And we need to disassemble some things in there. So I'm going to take those apart now. Now that we've gotten these screws off, this wire is loose. This panel, there was 5 screws earlier. This panel is now free to come off. So the ultimate goal is we're going to do two things here. We're going to take off this connector and then snake it through the bottom, so that way we can get this wire disconnected so this panel is just freestanding. So this, sometimes depending on what model you have, there might be some glue here. You might use a utility knife to get to it. I like to use pliers because if it gets stuck, because it can be really tough to get it. The second part is, this is the speaker. If you don't like the beeping and it's very annoying, this is the guy to take off. We're going to desolder that in a minute. All you got to do is just desolder these 2 points, remove it, throw it away. That's it. So in some models, this will be really tough to get off. In my case, it was actually pretty loose. But if it's tough to get off, sometimes you can get a utility knife, start cutting away in there at the glue. Or if you're not so talented, my best way to do it is you just simply get 2 pairs of pliers to keep it stable. In this case, so mine was pretty loose, so I can feel it. There we go, just like that. Now that it's out, what you want to do is you want to snake this out through the side. So if you are thinking about maybe you want to keep this, the handlebars, maybe you want to put it back together one day, you don't want to keep it disassembled. If I were you, I would attach a piece of floss right now to this, so that way when you snake it through, you can have the string over here at this end, and it'll still be okay to, you can still snake it back the other way eventually. Okay, so I'm just going to snake it through real easy. In my case, I know I'm not returning, so this is point of no return. And there we go. So now that it's out, now you can reattach it and it'll be freestanding. Reattach it there, it'll be a free panel. So to remove the speaker, you need a couple items. You need a soldering iron, a nice wet sponge for your soldering iron to cool it off, and some solder. So the speaker is this point and that point, these 2 points right here. Now if you have a third person and you're not very talented, I'm not very talented either, but if you have another person here, or second person I mean, a third hand that can help you, while you're soldering it down, you might have someone here pulling on this, so as soon as the solder points break, you can yank it off. Instead, I'm just going to have one finger here applying pressure to pull it out, so the moment it comes loose, it's going to come out. So hopefully I can do this in a short amount of time. So I'm going to apply the solder first. My soldering iron kind of sucks, so I like to have some fresh solder to heat it up and liquefy it. So let's see. So I'm trying to melt a small piece of solder. It smells like, there we go. Got one piece. There we go. Okay. One little piece right there. It's going to help melt everything. There. Okay. Now I got my finger there. Going to try to apply some pressure. There, it's melting. There we go. I feel it moving. There. Speaker's gone. And there you have it. Now that the speaker's removed, we're going to reattach this, but don't forget that when you're going to reattach it, first snake it through this piece the way it was before, and you're going to screw in this bridge right here first, and then you can reattach it and put it back together the way you undid everything, right? So now I have the panel back together. Notice there's no beeping, it's quiet, and it works. Okay, so the last part is, what we're going to do is we're going to take apart these handlebars, and this might get a little bit messy. How all this, but basically you just slip this up like a condom or a banana peel, however you want to call it, and then what you'll see is on the back there's two screws right here. You just take those out, same thing over here on that side, and this top part comes off. Now if you want, if you come over here for a second, if you want, you can get rid of these completely and you can undo these bolts on both sides. This will be sitting on the bottom. However, one issue with that I found is that then this bottom piece, this is kind of hard to see, but this bottom piece is a little bit round, and it's going to be resting on the ground. I don't think that's good long term if your situation calls for it and you need it, you know, to each their own. I think it's better to keep this piece a little bit off the ground, so I like to keep this part of the frame here. It's a little bit ugly by having this, you know, this still exist, but you know what? It's a do-it-yourself treadmill desk. So here's the final product in my room. My room is a huge mess, and so is my desk. But you can see basically with the arm bars out of the way, I can now fit it underneath my desk. And also to make a very lazy poor man's bookshelf, what I have here is basically I just have a bookshelf sticking out that's counterweighted by a bunch of books. And then I have another shelf right here that goes across it, and so I can type on it and use it and whatnot. I can't support a lot of weight, so if I push down too hard, it will start to lift a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Honestly, unless you're like slamming down on it, it's okay. It's not load bearing, but it works. And then I took my computer monitors or TV and I put it up here on my hutch, and so there you have it, a treadmill desk.